Am I the a-hole for laughing hysterically after a date kept insisting to me that women have periods from their butts? Throwaway. There was this guy, a 22-year-old who a 20-year-old female have gone on a few dates within the past couple of months. He's nice and so far we've only progressed to going on public dates, but about a week ago we finally decided to have a nice date at my place. Since it was going to be at my place, I let him know before that I was on my period because I wasn't sure what expectations he had or where his boundaries were yet, and we agreed to just have a nice takeout dinner and watch a movie. He comes over and we eat, then sit down on the couch to pick a movie. When he says that it sucked that I was on my period, then he said how he thought it was so strange that women give birth through the vagina but have periods from their butts. This was a completely unpromoted statement from him, and I'm still not sure how we got on the topic, to be honest. I asked him what he meant by that, and he said again exactly what he had said before. I kind of smiled, assuming he was very much just joking, and said, "Oh yeah, so weird," thinking that he was going to start laughing soon to end the joke. He didn't, and instead started to talk about his first and only girlfriend he'd had in high school and how she used to complain about bad period poops all the time. At this point I ask him if he is being serious, and he looks a little confused and says he is. I ask him to explain how he came to that conclusion, and he explained that his first experience being around periods was the high school girlfriend, and before then he had never received or seen much information. He understood it was something that happened inside the body and that blood came out somewhere, but assumed it came out of the vagina until he heard her complaining and realized it actually came out of the butt. It was very unexpected coming from a 22-year-old man. I somehow managed to keep my composure when I told him that periods do in fact come out of the vagina and not butts. He looked confused and then a little frustrated and started insisting to me that was wrong, and then kept saying, "Are you sure?" As if I was confused about where it came out of my own body. I explained to him the anatomy a bit and how it worked, but he was very adamant. Eventually he conceded that most women must have periods like that, but some, hence his ex-girlfriend, have their periods form their butts. He just could not understand, no matter how many times I tried to explain it to him, that he had just simply come to the wrong conclusion and misinterpreted his girlfriend's words. The whole situation became so much that I started to laugh. I was doubled over, clutching my stomach, crying, laughing over this whole debacle, and he sat there red-faced, continuing to try and argue with me. Eventually he said he was ready to leave and did before we could watch a movie. I felt bad for laughing after he left because I could tell that had been when he decided to leave, and he also texted me later that night to say he had done a little bit of research on his own and that he was no longer interested in pursuing any sort of relationship because he couldn't stand to be with someone who laughed at someone for not understanding. Am I the a-hole?